Hi, I'm Luann from Rockin Book Reviews, and I'm so pleased to be here today with Greg Spry. Greg, you stated in one of your bios that you love science fiction since you were old enough to obliterate Lego Star Wars with Lincoln Log missiles. What are Lincoln Log missiles?
Well, I mean, yeah, we know, I think more people know Legos. And of course, Lincoln Logs are also little like sort of building block like toys that you can, kids play with. And so I played with Legos a lot more than Lincoln Logs, but it still was a nice, clever turn of phrase to, work in the Lincoln Logs there. But yeah, Legos were one of my favorite pastimes. Played with those endlessly from is as old as I can remember, low single digits all the way, I think, into middle school. And finally in high school, I said, okay, maybe I'm getting too old to play with them, but they're still pretty fun. And yeah, Lego's such an educational tool and fun. And I used to build so many cool things. I would build spaceships, I would do the medieval times, castles, you name it, I'd build it. I'd turn whole beds. Bedroom would be like a solar system. Each bed would be like a moon or a planet, and then you set up a civilization, and then a Lego Starship Enterprise or something would visit each planet, and then it would go, out into, hyperspace or warp drive out in the hallway, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
What sci-fi movie sticks out in your mind the most?
Sci-fi movie. Oh, I guess I did watch a lot of Star Trek, like Star Trek: First Contact with the Board and Captain Picard, and yeah, those were some of my favorites. There was also a movie. It's funny now that I think back on it. A movie called Life Force that was just a B-grade science fiction movie from the mid '80s. Not very good, but it was rated R though, so that was a big deal. Like for me in middle single digits, my dad was like, "Oh, you're not allowed to watch it, but it's a cool sci-fi movie." So I hid in the hallway where he couldn't see me, and I watched it and saw some inappropriate things.
Look, we can't control everything our children do.
We get away with things sometimes.
uh, what other activities did you enjoy during your formative years?
Oh, gosh, I think one thing that kind of ties into now is that I used to play a lot of kickball in grade school, and it was always a big, ego boost. I was I was okay at kickball. I'd come up to the plates, one of those people, and everybody take a few steps back, and that was really, made me feel good. And so I played that, and then, grade school, a lot of people play kickball with the rubber ball. And then as I got older, after graduated from college, I actually found adult leagues that play kickball just for fun, and they like to go out, socialize, have a few drinks. They like to call it, adult kickball is a drinking game with a kickball problem. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I've done that for many years up until I injured myself.
Oh, that's no fun.
No.
Okay, you have degrees from Wisconsin and also from Florida. Where did you grow up at?
Well, I was born and raised in Green Bay, so go Packers. And really, I'm a true Wisconsinite. Up until I think about fifth grade in Green Bay. Then I lived around Milwaukee through high school, another big city in Wisconsin. And then I went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison, Wisconsin, and I graduated from college there. I worked for a healthcare software company, and then I was kind of back and forth. I lived most of my adult years in Madison, but I left to move to St. Louis to start some, try my hand at entrepreneurship with some friends. Then I came back to Madison, then down to Florida for the space systems degree, master's degree, and then back to Madison, and then finally out to San Diego, where I live now.
What inspired you to go to Florida and get your space degree?
It was just something I wanted to do. I'd always kind of wanted to, work for NASA, or nowadays SpaceX too, and be another great company. But yeah, I mean, it's just always been an interest, sci-fi and like real space travel. So I thought, what the heck, go get a degree. It's stuff I would be, I don't mind learning about anyway. And then we'll see, be in the kind of get my master's degree at Florida Tech, kind of in the shadow of the Kennedy Space Center, and go there, visit it, and yeah, just see what it was all about. So it was fun. I always wanted to do it, and I did it, and I used that information I learned in my writing all the time.
What ways have your degrees from both places affected your writing?
Oh yeah, well, they both places affected big time. You know, at Wisconsin, I was industrial engineering, so a lot of that engineering mindset that helps me, um, you know, do space travel as well as the actual space systems knowledge, and then just everything, you know, math, science, creativity. Yeah, it's all real helpful.
Okay, you created Beyond Sagas trilogy. Tell us what inspired you to write that.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I've been a lifelong science fiction fan, and you know, I've often seen, I've seen so many different things, and there are multiple series that I really have enjoyed throughout the years. And it's kind of the Beyond Saga was kind of like my culmination of, I'm going to do a space opera, sort of larger than life, solar systems, colonized planets. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to do it and kind of do it. It's like my version of Star Trek / Star Wars / Battlestar Galactica / numerous other things. So kind of when I wanted to tackle the big things. The first steps towards faster than light, like in the first book, Beyond Cloud 9, first interstellar mission, second book, first, time travel, third book. And then there's a fourth book too that I'm working on right now. And then that tackles all sorts of things, multiple universes and so forth. So
It
yeah,
isn't
it's just
going
kind
to
of,
be just a trilogy.
no, it's a tetralogy or quadrilogy, whatever, whatever you
So
prefer.
you don't know how many more you'll be writing on in that.
No, it's the main 4 books. It's done at 4, but there are certainly other stories to be told in that universe. So I could always return to that universe and write a book. Write a book 2.5 or 3.5, somewhere in the middle,
Right.
or short stories. I've seen other authors do it as well.
Okay. What other projects? I noticed that you're working on a lot of things. And by the way, one thing we skipped over is one of your expertises is in web design, and your website is really amazing. It's easy to use, uncluttered, and I'm very impressed. But
Thank you.
What other big projects have you got going?
Big projects. Well, yeah, I mean, first with the web design, yeah, throughout my time bouncing around to various companies and in my career, I've learned web design. That really, helps me out with not just the web design, but also to social media and other technical things. So that aspect of actually getting a book published and getting the word out has never been, or the technical side has never been overly challenging to me. So that's a big help. In terms of big writing projects, the big one right now is book 4, Beyond Existence, to kind of tie up all the loose ends throughout the first 3 books, and really just kind of tackle some new things. Like I said, multiple universes and some more time travel, and kind of like it's almost got a little bit of, if Arthur C. Clarke and Childhood's End. It's kind of got a little bit of that feel with an alien, almost a benevolent alien occupation. So it's got that. So that's the big thing right now. The next thing I want to work on too is I have actually a series of like shorter novellas, or maybe even just short stories, sci-fi comedy called Bears in Space. And so basically, Roz and his buddies, he lives in the basement of his parents' asteroid, and he's a bounty hunter, but he, kind of can't quite get it right, and goes through some whimsical adventures pertaining to, and it's kind of I've been wanting to write it for a long time. It's got again, it's comedy, kind of like almost like a written sort of South Park / Family Guy / other sorts of comedy types of things. And yeah, it's just my opportunity to do that sort of thing, but with more sci-fi concepts and video games and other just kind of even just writing cliches like, oh, the alien invasion, but let's do the alien invasion, as that's really highlights all of the all of the funny cliche things, like you know, the motherships hovering over you know, the buildings, which are, it's basically a big bullseye, and how does that work, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a lot of opportunity to explore some really, you know, look at some sci-fi themes, but from a funny perspective.
So when do you expect to have your fourth book completed?
It's been tough, I tell you. It's like I said, I moved to San Diego a year ago, and everything involved in the move and getting resettled has been, and then there's so much to do, fun things to do around here. So it's been, the progress has been slow. Then what I was talking about before too, back in May, I tore my ACL in my right knee. So I've been dealing with that injury. And so anyway, the writing has been slow go, but I'm hoping to try to finish or get close to finishing the rough draft by the end of this year. And then sometime by like next summer or late next year, hopefully we'll get it published and out. That's tentative.
Super. Okay, so what else do you want to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, wow, we'll definitely, you know, finish the Beyond Saga. That's the first step. Get to one or multiple of those Bears in Space stories, and begin on also then the next book or book series with something called Destalis. And I actually wrote this story, this novel, before I even started writing the Beyond Saga, based on some stuff even in my childhood. Actually kind of stars a young girl who kind of lost her memories and is on a kind of a planet that's sort of like you know, feudal or raised by these sort of creatures or people who do martial arts, and eventually she starts to rekindle and find out what happened, you know, to her home planet and all those sorts of things. So it's an interesting story. It's actually pretty because I started with it first, you know, I've been working on it for a long time. I remember it was the first rough, in working on it, I was learning how to write as I worked on it. And so it's just been, I've written multiple drafts and still not happy with it. So eventually I put it on the shelf, and now I will eventually, I'm feeling a lot better too. Now with the Beyond Saga, I think my writing has improved. So I'm ready to come back to it eventually.
I really enjoyed your first book. I haven't read the others.
Well, thank you.
But anyway, so with all your moving around, where's your favorite place to live?
Oh gosh, it's I mean, every single place I've lived has been really good to me. You know, there hasn't been any way I've hated. I will always say that Madison is probably the greatest town on the face of the planet. But I was there for a long time and experienced, you know, a lot of the stuff, and I was ready to move on from there. But it was always kind of like my home base. I always knew I could come back, and friends and family around the area, and knew I could come back and get, you know, things would be good for a while. But I think so far San Diego has been one of the best moves. It's just the city's got so much to offer, and yeah, it's hard to go wrong with the fun and the sun and everything, all the different neighborhoods and fun things to go and try out.
Any closing words?
Closing words? No, just that I appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch the interview and check out the books. You know, my name and Beyond. Just look, you know, Greg Spry or Beyond Cloud 9 on Amazon, and you can find it all out there. And yeah, again, appreciate the time you're taking too.
I'll be posting all your information on my website. So
sounds great.
Thank you so much. And we want to invite all of you viewers to search the universe through books. And we'll say goodbye for now. Goodbye.